Hey, buddy. What's going on, boys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another beautiful day here in, it's actually not that sunny. Anyway, we'll leave her alone. I have to get a bunch of stuff. Hold on. See, I put those in there. This right here. These in here. This right here. Gotta grab my retainers. All right, so today is a cool day. I am taking the M3 to Soul Speed Performance here in Austin, Texas. And these retainers, man. And they are going to adjust the ride height, do an alignment, and then do a corner balance. So once this is done, this thing should be track worthy. It already is, but it should be dialed in. So I'm already running late. We gotta fight rush hour traffic. So let's get on the road and I'll try and do a little bit more talking while we're driving. All right, so like I mentioned, I'm going to a place called Soul Speed Performance here in Austin, Texas. Ooh, roadkill. And they're going to do an alignment, corner balance, and ride height adjustment. Not in that order, by the way. And hold on. Okay. Shifting done. So they're gonna get it all set up for the track. You know, I do have a little bit of rubbing in the rear. Actually, I haven't rubbed in the rear since I re-rolled the fenders, but I know I'm going to need to lower the rear end a little bit because I have a little bit too much rake. Hold on. And if you don't know what rake is the angle at which the car slants from the rear to the front, I believe. So my rear end is a little bit too high, which I don't know how that affects handling, but it's not ideal. So I'm going to talk to them about adjusting that, setting the ride height, getting that all dialed in. Then they'll set the alignment and then they'll do a corner balance on the car, which from my understanding is basically just trying to get the car as close to 50-50 weight distribution front to rear as they possibly can. I don't know how they do that. If I can film, I'll try to film, but I've never been to this place before, so I don't know how lenient they'll be with some random guy coming in with a big old tripod, mic, and camera. I don't know, we'll feel it out. But anyway, we're on the road. We're heading there. And I'll see you guys when we get there. All right, boys, so we just got back from Soul Speed. Actually, just pulled over at a random spot where I've been to before. Tried to beat rush hour traffic home, and they just finished up with the alignment and corner balance and ride height adjustment. So what they did is they basically took out a bunch of toe that was initially in the car. They left the camber fairly similar. The front minus 2.9 degrees, both sides. The rear, they added a little bit, and you could see it was off a little bit before. But they basically just wiped out a bunch of toe that had. And from what they were telling me, toe is a factory spec that a lot of alignment centers will do because it helps the car kind of go straight down the road easier, but it's not set up for cornering or anything like that. So they wiped that out and they said it should make a huge difference. Like I said, they messed with the camber a little bit in the rear because that was off, and I basically did that by sight. I didn't really do anything too official. Let me show you what the end product looks like. So I think they might have raised up the front just a touch because, like I told you guys before, my rake was off. So the rake is the angle at which the back to front slopes. So if you have too aggressive of a rake, it can throw off your handling. And my rake was pretty aggressive just because I didn't want the rear to rub. So they lowered the rear a little bit, and I think they raised the front just a touch to get it more more level. But I mean, the front gap up there, the height up front, I'm completely fine with. You can see the camber is fairly aggressive. It's nothing insane. It's not like stand stout or anything. And it's not rubbing that I can tell or I have felt. I haven't felt any rubbing, and it definitely won't up front. Up front is completely fine. I mean, it's fairly aggressive, but it's not crazy aggressive camber. But they've done a ton of cars over there. I'll link their website below. Really good group of guys there. I didn't get a film in there. Like I said, I don't know them at all. I've never been in there. And it's a real business. It has employees, other customers' cars. There's a lot going on. I'm not gonna try and bust this out and, you know, ask them if I can film in the middle of a work day. Maybe if I get to know them better, I can do that. But right now, just let them do their thing, be respectful of their business. I mean, they churned this out within 3 hours, I believe, and they got it to 49, well, let me see, they corner balanced it too, and they tried to give it to 50-50 weight balance, weight distribution, but since I don't have adjustable sway bar in links, they couldn't get it to 50-50. They were able to get it to 49.7. So you can see the total weight of the car is 32.99. I had them use a weight for me of 180, and they have it to a 49.7% cross weight after cross weight. Again, they could get it to 50 if they had those adjustable sway bar in links or the in links. Am I going to be able to realistically tell the difference between 49% and 50? Not a chance. So now that this is done, this is all handled, I mean, it's basically track time. So I need to, there's a few more things I want to figure out, like if I want to get the Vanos done or not before I go to the track. But man, I'm stoked with this. I'm stoked with how it turned out. I'm stoked with the handling. I've only been able to do a little street driving, so I haven't got to fully experience it. But maybe one of the next videos I'll do will be like a backroads video or something like that, really testing it out. All right, I'm really not sure how I'm gonna edit this one. So last time you saw, I had well, you just saw it. I was gonna edit the video with just the alignment and corner balance, but man, there's really not much there to it. So I have a few more things that I'm gonna do, and I'm not sure how I'm gonna edit it, but I'm just gonna throw it all in one video. So at least give you guys a little bit more. So something else I've been meaning to do, or with the E36, is replace the handbrake, and I'll show you why. I just actually got my replacement handbrake today. So let me show you why I need to do this. So I don't know how many of you guys have high mileage E36s, but my handbrake is bad, and I'll show you what is bad about it. So I bought a new e-brake boot, which literally, I don't think those are supposed to be one piece, because I definitely didn't buy them in one piece. That's interesting. So you can't really see it, so let me take out all this stuff and then I'll show you. All right, let me show you why I have to replace this e-brake. Here's a new e-brake. See these holes, the rivets, whatever they are, nice and tight, no gap here, everything's good. Nice and tight, everything's good. Solid piece. Ooh, listen to that. Yeah, feels good. Here's one that's been used for 240,000 miles. You see this? Let me see if I can. This is wide open. These holes are, you can tell they've been reefed on for 230,000. Oh, getting crap all over the car. These holes are completely bored out from someone just reefing on it as hard as possible. And this thing would always, when I was driving, it would always just come on and say my e-brake was on, because this would just wobble around and trip the sensor on the inside. Got new e-brake with brand new nice Napa leather handle, which is awesome. And new e-brake boot. The boot's not in yet, but it should be in, oh man, should be in next week sometime. Not too worried about that. But if you've been keeping up with the build, you know I replaced like all the small things like the shift knob, the shift boot, all that type of stuff. Steering wheel. Trying to do an OEM plus build. If you're new to the channel, that's the whole point of this car, is like OEM plus. As plus as I can actually go. So anyway, I'm gonna knock out this install, and then I'm thinking, since you know I did just get this corner balance and alignment, I wanna go find a road that I can romp on this, or see if a track is open or something. So let me knock out this install. It's really super easy. I'll try and film some of it for you. All right, literally all you have are these two e-brake cables, which slide through these two holes right there. And that is what creates tension when you pull it up, and the e-brake cables are ran through the back there to probably the back wheel, back there, and engage the e-brake. So really all you have are these two things, which you got to slide through that part I just showed you. And then there's 3 mounting spots, one there, and one down there, which you can't really see. Besides that, you have this little sensor right here which shows when the e-brake is engaged. You mount that to the e-brake with a little screw that's in there. It's just a nice little bracket. And there's this bracket that goes into that back mounting slot through the e-brake. And this is just for your center console. It just gives a mounting spot to the back end of that center console. So all in all, it's really not a tough install whatsoever. I'm probably gonna get some simple green and clean that up and then keep going. All right, boys, success. Got the new handle in. Like I said, it's really easy to do. I'm waiting on my new boot, so once my new boot comes in, I'll actually be really stoked, because it'll be a new boot, new e-brake, parking brake handle, new shift knob, and new shift boot. And I really want to replace this. I know it's not a big deal, but that's all faded and junky looking, so I really want to replace that too. But one thing I've noticed, sorry if it's not focused, can you hear that? I literally have something rattling around in my camera. It's not good. But one thing I've found, or one thing I couldn't find online, was where the 95 M3 starter relay is. And I'm sure as you know these get older and older, more people are going to be looking for this. I replaced the starter. I was still having some issues when I would try and crank the car. It wouldn't like not crank, it just wouldn't do anything. So I replaced the starter relay as well, and it's really kind of hard to find. I checked up in the hood, it's not there. Some of the things I read said it was in the passenger footwell, kind of behind the kick panel. It's not there. Since I have this off right now, I'm going to show you where it is. The starter relay for the 95 is actually, if you can see those green wires right there, it is right there. And the best way to get it off is to take off take off this piece right here, which that whole footrest comes off, and take this off, and then you can drop that little relay down. But it's tucked back right in there, right there where those green wires are, and it goes up. So if you need to replace your starter relay on a 95 M3, that's where it is. I think it's different from 96 through 99. I don't think it's in the same location. So just a little word of advice there, because it was a pain in the butt for me to find. I don't even know how I'm going to edit this, but I wanted to give you guys a little more than just install and telling you I got my car aligned. So I'm on the hunt for some back roads, and I don't think you'll be able to see her, but I brought my camera woman. There she is. She's responsible for B-roll, so if the B-roll sucks,
that would be my bad.
I'm just playing. I'm the editor, so it's my bad. But anyway, I wanted to give you guys some feedback on the driving after having this thing corner balance and aligned. Like I said before, there was a lot of toe in that is factory BMW spec. At least that's what the guys over at Soul Speed said. And that kind of helps just to help it track in a straight line. It doesn't really do much for actual handling, but it's more so just to help it track straight. So they added a little camber in the rear and took the toe out, and what else did they do? And then they corner balanced the car. And so far, it feels amazing. The handling just feels absolutely phenomenal. You know, I'm not going to be able to get it, like, I'm not going to be able to tell you how it feels as I would if I were on a track, but, you know, kind of aggressive back road driving, so far it just feels phenomenal. They also did a ride height adjustment as well, and the ride height adjustment was due to me having too much rake. So rake is when the back end is higher up than the front and it slopes at too aggressive of an angle. So actually Roman over at Boost Logic gave me the heads up on that. He said, you know, I think you're running a little bit too much rake. Some of the corners that I've had in an E36 before, your car kind of pushes through, and it could be due to that. So I had them level out. If I would have dropped the rear end much more to match the front, I'd be rubbing a ton. So what they did is raise the front just a little bit and drop the rear just a little bit to even it out a little bit. And I can definitely feel the difference in that. Looks wise, you can't really tell that much. I'll throw up some exterior shots if I haven't already, but everything looks fairly similar to what it was prior. Now it just isn't as aggressive as a rake, isn't as aggressive of rake as it was. And not to mention, it is absolutely beautiful here in Austin right now. It's about 72 degrees, and before this we had the windows down and we were just absolutely cruising because it is so nice here. This is an awesome example of why we moved to here from Minnesota. Ooh, I felt a little rub there in the rear. That was just coming off a compression from a downhill. That I have is, you know, some guys complain about it. I haven't found anything wrong with it. It doesn't feel too soft. The spring rates feel great. I haven't, for the price and what you get, I don't know of anything else that would compare to this. I'm gonna have to really let this guy get ahead. And you get me coming back this way. bad thing about back roads here in Texas. First off, there aren't many of them, and second off, they're not really back roads. They're roads that everyone uses, so they're not empty. You can't really have a fun drive. Do any of you other car guys do this? Do you guys refuse to use your air conditioning so it doesn't rob horsepower? Is that just me? Leave a comment down below. I'm curious to know if that's just me. This thing sounds so good. All right, boys. That's going to do it for this episode. So we got the corner balance, alignment, everything taken care of suspension wise. Got the e-brake installed, have the new e-brake boot coming in. I think the next thing, honestly, is probably to get this thing out on a track. Formula One is coming to Circuit of America, coming to COTA next weekend, so there's no chance of getting out on COTA for at least another month to probably a month and a half, 2 months. But there is a few other tracks here that I want to go to. So hopefully within the next month-ish, couple weeks, I'll be able to get this out on track and give you a solid review of the corner balance, the alignment, everything they did, and then just the car in general, because I still haven't taken this out on the track, and I know a lot of you guys want to hear how this car does with the S54 swap. So if you're new to the channel, smash that subscribe button. It'd mean a lot to me. We got a lot of cool stuff coming up, and I'll see you guys on the next episode. Peace.